Well, Chancellor Wilson, President Gertler, deans, faculty, guests, most of all you graduating students. You know, for you, this is a glorious occasion. It's a celebration of academic achievement. More than that, I consider it a springboard to produce and use productive professional lives. For me, it's also a glorious occasion, honored by a great Canadian university with international reach and an introduction somewhat excessive in terms of perhaps accomplishments. But I can't suggest that at my age, the image of a springboard is apt. Rather, I consider this an invitation to look back, to stay on firm ground, to proceed on a presumption that experience provides wisdom. Now, over a span, literally, of 75 years or so, from childhood vacations through years of official relationships and intellectual debate in Canada, I can reasonably claim to be acquainted with this country. For one thing I know is that our nations are quite different in size, different in geopolitical aspirations, different in some important cultural instincts. I also know that the idea instilled in my youth when I was graduating from university was that of a unique and constructive American role in the larger world which underlay all my education and years in public service. But now I regret to say internal divisiveness, angry ideological differences, huge and growing disparities in wealth, visibly eroding infrastructure is, I am afraid, undercutting our American presumption of a society to be emulated, what has been termed our soft power. For all of our vaunted capacity for innovation, the outlook for strong economic growth and financial order has come into question. We spend enormous amounts on the military and on our intelligence, but it's really hard to know how to bring those resources constructively to bear in a troubled world. Now, I confess I look toward Canada with a certain degree of envy these days. Take my specialty. As you know, I've had decades of certain responsibility and a continuing interest in American financial performance and regulatory policies. Unfortunately, the truth is that our vaunted system let us down badly, to the point a few years ago of requiring really massive public support, trillions of dollars, to fend off deep-seated recession. Now, from my observation, the Canadian financial world seems to have weathered the international financial crisis with relative equanimity. I have to tell you that has not gone unnoticed. Let me point out that the very idea of a Canadian central banker being invited to take over the Bank of England, the storied mother of all central banks, is eloquent evidence of recognition and respect for the Canadian financial system and regulation. Now, a good Canadian friend of mine, I still have some, despite hearing some complaints about the Volcker rule, makes a point of extolling what he sees as the essential point of Canadian history and its governance. He calls it a capacity for mutual accommodation. Mutual accommodation. Those are not exactly thrilling words, stirring the blood, inspiring fervent patriotic hymns, or hailing military victories. The fact is, you in Canada haven't found it necessary to fight a war of independence or a civil war. When tensions arose, your leaders did not need to claim manifest destiny or foster delusions that the American way of life was somehow not only preeminent, but a model for the world. For you, the vast expanse of Canada has been challenge enough. The point is that what's happened here is truly remarkable, and it has lessons. Here's the Canadian nation, built out of different national instincts, different cultural traditions, whether indigenous or from abroad. In the end, it's all held together. That narrow band of population stretched over 3,000 miles of difficult landscape no longer seems such a centrifugal force. Really remarkably, a huge influx of immigrants have not only been absorbed, but they do seem to have added to life and vitality. My own personal observation is that this city of Toronto, now a world city, has become truly international in more than size, with all the cultural variety, energy, and outlook that distinction implies. Now listen, I didn't come here simply to praise you. I'm not about to give up my American citizenship. I don't doubt the inherent vigor and potential of the American economy or our constitutional system. I don't see any alternative capacity to provide the needed element of constructive leadership in a troubled world. But I'm also very aware that the world of 2015 is not the world in which I grew up, a world in which the capacity of the great democracies to work together with American leadership in a common cause seem to be well understood. Today, we need some of that Canadian genius of mutual accommodation, of a sense of shared order. The ability of North America, and Mexico included, to work together in the common interest has been well demonstrated in the past, and it needs to be continued and elaborated in the future. Critically important, can we not extend that degree of harmony and cooperation and stretch it across the Pacific? Can we reason together to deal with the common concerns about climate change? And at the same time, can we work together to make sure that the radicalized Middle East does not become a destructive force for the world economically or politically? Now, I stand here before a large faculty of law. These days, 8 centuries after the signing of the Magna Carta, we are reminded that it is indeed dedication to the rule of law that provides the basis for strong and open democratic societies. And the law school here is joined by the much newer Monk School of Global Affairs. And its presence and your presence is simple recognition of the fact that these days, lasting success for any country must be a global success. Welcome to the challenge. We need your energy, your professional commitment, that good sense of mutual accommodation. I only want to add one bit of special pleading. Some of you graduating here today, I feel certain, must be from the United States. Come home. We need your perspective. We need your commitment. We need some of that sense of accommodation that's marked Canadian life. Meanwhile, thank you all for inviting me to join you on this great occasion. Thank you very much.